If I wish to share applications with my students, there are a few different ways I can choose to do this. As the session leader, I can either click the Share button here, in which case it will share out my entire desktop by default, and you can see that you get a slightly different view of SABA. It's more of a full screen view, where I can stop the application, share, I can quit the application share, I can pause the application share, I can view the different transition options, sharing desktops, starting whiteboards polls, going to different slides, adding content, setting up my breakout rooms, or going into options. I can enter markup mode. I can control microphone and camera settings, and I can view if they raise hands or if they click on the yes or no icons. I can see who's raised hands and who's clicked on yes and no. I can also view the text chat, and when I mouse away from this, it collapses again. What this looks like from the student perspective is this right here. This is a dual screen setup, and this is showing everything that's on both desktops. If I don't wish to show that much, I can quit the app share, and I can then choose to share instead only particular things. So for example, I could choose to only share out screen 1. And what that will look like to my student is only the first screen. And again, I can quit app share. Now, if I share out only a particular application, so let's say that I share out my sound editor. So here I am looking, this is what my student sees. Now, if I wish to share something else, you'll see the click to share show up on the screen. So I can choose that, and that will share additional items. I'm going to quit the app share. But that's how you do it as the session leader. You can either choose individual applications, or you can share the entire desktop. Or you can share, if you have dual monitors, individual parts of your desktop. As a student, you have a couple of options. I can right-click on my student and say, Ask to share an application. So in this particular case, I have Jane over here. So I'm going to right-click and ask Jane to share an application. So Jane is being asked to select an application to share, and the only application that Jane can share is her desktop. So when I click yes to sharing the desktop, I can see that Jane is now sharing the desktop. And of course, when Jane's done, she's going to quit out of her app share. Another option is I can promote Jane to co-presenter. So now Jane is going to be my co-presenter, and when I go to Jane's page, Jane now sees the ability to set up individual applications for sharing. So when Jane does that, this is what Jane sees. From a breakout room, Jane would be treated semi-like a presenter, but not quite. So from a breakout room will be a little bit different. Once Jane is finished with sharing out her individual application, as the instructor, I can demote Jane back to participant level, in which case, when we look at Jane's screen, she loses a lot of the things that she had available to her while she was a co-presenter. So she can no longer share out by default.